Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. This video is going to be a top 5, bottom 5 of Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palettes. I say Makeup Revolution, but of course I mean Makeup Revolution, I Heart Makeup, like all of those sub-brands that are sold on the Revolution Beauty website. You can find the brand in Ulta in the US, at Ulta in the US, at Superdrug in the UK, and over here in the Netherlands it's sold at Kruidvat now a little bit more, but also at Etal. So you do have to find the bigger stores in order to find this full selection, but online you will be able to find the most. I've tried a lot of their palettes, and of course they're known for duping a lot of like much more expensive palettes. That's sort of how the brand started out, but they also do a lot of their own palettes, and those are the ones that I tend to prefer. So in terms of top 5, bottom 5, maybe there are a couple of dupe palettes in here, who knows, but let's just get to it. I think what I'll do is start top, like a bottom one and then a top one. Shall we do that? Let's do that. So in terms of bottom, I recently, not too long ago, placed an order on their website because I really wanted to try some of their older palettes. This is the Pink Fizz, which is the light pink packaging. They also do a dark pink one, which is called something else. The reason why I wanted to try this is because this has some really stunning cool tone shades. I thought this looked really, really nice, but that's about as far as it goes. I was able to pull 1 or 2 nice looks out of this, but my issue with this is that it has all shimmer. And while I love a good shimmer in any palette, all the shimmer in this have this, like all the shimmers in this palette have the same undertone. So while the shades look different, because the shimmer is exactly the same color, everything just muddies together and looks the same on the eye, which is a bit of a shame. I also feel that these older palettes aren't as good. So in terms of quality, I think they've definitely upped their game over the years. But if you buy these older style palettes, they are still made with like older ingredients, I think, or like different ingredients probably. They're pressed differently. They just feel a lot stiffer and a lot chalkier than some of the newer palettes that I've tried. So this chocolate bar Pink Fizz is definitely one of my bottom 5. So in terms of a top then, I would have to go with this, the Violet Chocolate. I've talked about this in a couple of my videos so far. I gave it away on my blog. I did a review on this already. I love this palette. It's a very purple toned palette, and if you like purples and you want a palette that has a lot of purple options, then this I think is the best one on the market right now. You get a nice royal purple, you get some more muted purples. This shimmer is really, really pretty, but you also get a lot of great neutrals, and some of them also have a bit more of like a plummy, purpley undertone to them. This is just a really, really great shade selection. The quality of this is also really, really great. So if you're looking for a good Makeup Revolution palette, then this is definitely it. It's by I Heart Revolution, by the way. So if you're looking for certain brands, then that's it. And yeah, I just think that this is a really great quality palette, and it's not a dupe, so that's great too. Talking about dupes then, I also have the Naked Chocolate palette, and that's the one in like the white chocolate packaging. I believe this is a dupe for like an Urban Decay Naked palette. I'm not sure. It's again very neutral, very cool toned. It's a little bit like Urban Decay Naked 3 vibes maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but this again, like the Pink Fizz palette, was really my cup of tea. It's chalky. All of the shimmer in all of these shades is the same, so that's why again everything muddies together, and the only shade I really like is this shimmery highlight here, but it doesn't really do much in terms of like actual shade because it's very sheer. So I felt that with this, while the shade selection in here is quite nice, I didn't like the quality of the shadows. They just muddy together too much for me. Talking then about a dupe palette that I do like, it's very rare for me. I'm usually drawn to the dupe palettes by Makeup Revolution, but I was drawn into this one because of course, what is this? What's this called again? This is the Iconic Division Reloaded. What this of course does is duping the Subculture palette, and since Subculture got so much slack, I was a little apprehensive of shelling out the money for an Anastasia palette with that one. but I ended up picking the dupe one. This is only €5. So it was like, I just want to try the shade selection and whether I like it. Of course I do, because with brown eyes, this is your kind of color scheme. The Taylor actually did a comparison between this and the Bad Habit palette, and she said that this was better, also because it has a black, so that's why I sort of decided to get this in the end. I really like this, but because I now have this, I'm definitely have sort of changed my ideas about subculture a little bit, and I have decided that I now do want to try the original. And if I am ever going to be buying the Anastasia, and if I like it, what it does on my eyes, I will definitely get rid of this, because I think that with an affordable price point, what you can do is also see if certain shades, if you're unsure of a shade selection, for instance, especially with something like this, where you have teals and mustards and greens, like if you're unsure whether it's going to be your cup of tea, then this is a great way to try it out, I think. But yeah, 9 out of 10 times these dupe palettes simply sway me to buy the original anyways, so why not buy the original? I should have just done that in this case. So time for another bottom 5 selection, and that's this. This is the Flawless Matte 2, I think, yes. Ooh, these larger palettes all look the same, so you never know which one you actually have in your hands. I used to have the original Flawless, which I decluttered because I didn't like it, and this is definitely going the same route, I think. I think I have better matte palettes so far. This is 32 shades, which makes you think, yay, 32 shades of eyeshadow, just like with a Morphe palette or something like that. But as you can see, it just doesn't really have a lot of different shades in it. Everything is so samey in here. Of course, I was drawn in by the peaches, but you only get 4 of those, and the quality of these just isn't the best. When I got round to trying the palette, I ended up gravitating a lot towards more these plum shades actually in the end, which I have about 1,000,000 times over. So this is definitely one that I don't need in my collection. I think they're a little bit chalky. The pans in this are quite small as well, and I feel they are a little bit too samey, and I should have just learned my lesson and known that a lot of the shades, even though it says 32 shades on the packaging, yes, you get 32 shades, but they're not different in any way, shape, or form, all unique 32 shades. It's just not. So I should have learned my lesson the first time round, I think, and this is definitely one that is on the chopping block for me. Of course, that Flawless Matte being quite a disaster for me doesn't mean that Makeup Revolution cannot do larger palettes well. I think that the original Soph palette is a really nice one. I also bought the Extra Spice, but I have yet to try it on my eyes, so I can't attest to the quality of that, which is why I thought I'd feature the original one in here. This has 24 shades, so again, a little bit on the larger side of things, and I just love the color scheme in this, and the quality of these is really nice. I think Soph did a really great job with the shade selection. You get some really nice like fun shades in here, but overall it's quite warm tones, but you get some nice neutrals, some shimmers. It just has a really great shade selection here, and this is just one of those palettes. If you have this, you can do pretty much any eye look that you would want to do, and the quality of these shades is really nice. So the Soph palette would be one of my top 5 picks from Makeup Revolution. So from one influencer collab to another, because their very first collaboration was the Fortune Favours the Brave eyeshadow palette. When I first got this, I really loved it, and I just ended up not really using it all that much. I was raving about this back when I first got it, but right now it's just a little too neutral for my tastes. I feel that these blues and greens and the plums here are a little bit muddy, and again, those really small pans are just not really doing it for me anymore. So while I really loved this when I first got it, I feel that now Makeup Revolution just has some better palettes in their range. On to another favorite then, and that would be the Chocolate Vice. I was really doubting between this and the Naked Underneath palette, but the Naked Underneath palette that I have, I can no longer find on their website, so I think it was limited edition, so I didn't want to put it into any of these, I didn't want to put it in this video. Plus, I hate the packaging on that because it's this like furry with like a embellished heart on it, which I hate. This I like the packaging of, and I like the shades. So I was like, this trumps the other one, so this deserves a spot in my top 5. This is the All Black Chocolate Vice palette, and this is another one of those chocolate bars, as you can see, and this is what the palette looks like. Now, this is not a dupe for the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. They have a dupe for it called Chocolate and Peaches, I think it's called, and it's in like peach toned packaging as well. This does have peach shades, but it has a couple of really stunning golds and a couple more like smoky, cooler tone shades. I think this is a very unique color scheme, and it just shows you that if you go for the Makeup Revolution bits that they actually develop themselves and aren't straight knockoffs, those are actually really nice. I really like this highlight shade, so let me show you that. As you can see, a lot more pigmented than the other one that I just showed you from the, what's it, Naked Chocolate one. This is so intense, and it's just a really, really nice palette. My last bottom 5 product would be this. This is the Golden Bar palette. Now, you may think, hey, doesn't that look like a Too Faced palette? That's true, but this came out before the Too Faced Chocolate Golden, what's it, bar? But is that what it's called? Chocolate Gold, I think it's called. And this is the Golden Bar. So this came out first, and then the Too Faced one, which I think is really fun because, of course, Makeup Revolution really became famous for duping the original chocolate bar. So for Too Faced to go with a very similar style packaging in their chocolate gold palette, I think is hilarious. The shades are completely different though, so it's not a dupe in terms of shade range. The reason why I'm going to put this in my bottom 5 is not because of the quality. I do really like the quality of these shadows, but it suffers from the same thing as the Pink Fizz and the Naked Chocolate, and that is the shimmer in this is the same in every single eyeshadow in here. So it all looks like very similar shades in here. It's of course called the Golden Bar, so maybe if I thought it through a little bit more, this would have made a bit more sense to me, because everything has like a golden shimmer to it. It's called the Golden Bar, so hey, oops, there's the brush. But yeah, it's just, you can already see here these 3 shades, or 4 actually, if you put those on the eye, they simply look all the same. So to me, this is just not my favorite because of that. However, if you like golds, then I think this could be a really, really nice selection. And the quality of this is really nice. So this is definitely not one that I don't like because of the quality of the palette. It's definitely has to do with the shade selection and sort of like the undertone of the shimmer in each of these shades. Last but not least, not necessarily my favorite one, but definitely also in my top 5 would be the Mint Chocolate palette. They also do these in a mini version, the chocolate chip one, which is really, really adorable, and it definitely has a good selection of shades that's in here. So if you don't like these bigger style palettes, then I would definitely recommend going for the mini one. They are really, really nice travel palettes as well, and what I like about this is the color scheme. The quality of this is really nice too. You get some really nice teals and greens and some golds, and yeah, this is just a stunning palette. You get a like blue-brown kind of shade as well, so an interesting duochrome. You get some nice shimmers for on the lid. It's a little bit more warm-toned, a little bit more cool-toned. It has a really, really nice blend of anything you could want, and aren't these shades just perfect for the fall time? It definitely is inspired by subculture, I would say, but if you put these two together, then these palettes are definitely different. So it really comes down to shade selection for me. This one is a little bit more punchy, a little bit more vibrant, whereas this one is a little bit more muted. So it really depends on your preferences of what you truly like, with how much you like this one over this one, for instance. They do very similar things, but I do think that this is a little bit more unique because I haven't seen anything like this on the market. So that's it, my top 5, bottom 5 Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palettes. I'm sort of thinking of what other top 5, bottom 5s could I do? So let me know in a comment down below if you would like to see more of this style of video, and leave any suggestions if there's anything you would like me to go over in like a top 5, bottom 5 style. I very much appreciate your feedback. So yeah, please thumbs up this video if you liked it. I would very much appreciate it because it helps getting my videos out there, and subscribe if you would like to see more videos by me, because I make videos twice a week on Thursday and Sundays at 5 a.m. Central European time. That's when my videos go live, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!